Hey everybody! Hello, let me get you situated. Today we are talking about the striatum, and specifically motivation. How can we get our students, the students that seem to just be so apathetic, that just are like so hard to move on, our projects, no matter what we do, it seems like they're just not motivated whatsoever. And we're going to talk about um, how the brain influences that very stuck in the mud characteristic. So, motivation isn't just about attitude or effort, it is deeply connected to the brain, and specifically a part of the brain that we have been talking about for a while called the striatum. Understanding how the striatum works can totally shift how you approach engagement, effort, and behavior in your classroom. And that is why I've spent so much time on it during these lives. So you do not need, in fact, do not use prizes, candy, or point systems, token economies. It's all rubbish. You just need feedback and strategic design when you design your lessons. Okay. We're going to be talking specifically about feedback today and how you can use feedback to close what's called the feedback loop to motivate your kids. So, what is the striatum and why does it matter? The striatum is a part of the brain's reward and motivation system. It's your brain's hype boy. It's it's the hype boy. When it's activated, it says, "Hey, okay, we like this. This is worth doing. We're gonna pay attention to it. We're gonna focus on it, and we're gonna do it again, and again, and again, and again." It gets you hype. It gets you hyped to do stuff. But it doesn't get hyped by anything and everything. It is very, very picky. Okay? Like that, I always say the brain is lazy, right? The brain is lazy because it conserves energy. That is its number one goal is to conserve energy. Well, it's also very, very picky. And we're going to get into that in a little bit. Okay. So the striatum, the brain's hype boy, gets hyped about specific things. Those specific things are progress, purpose, patterns and predictions, novelty, so stuff that's new, social or peer connection, that feeling of belonging, and positive self-perception, how they view themselves. This means students need to feel like they are growing. They understand why something matters. And they see a clear link between their effort and actual progress. That's what lights up the striatum. That's what gets your hype boy hype. So the striatum and the attention network equal engagement. Engagement. It's like the golden word, engagement. The striatum and the attention network work together. So the striatum works hand in hand with the attention network in the brain. When your striatum is activated, when your brain sees something as rewarding or important, and it's getting hype, it tells your attention network, focus on this. This is important. This is worth it, right? The striatum is the hype boy. The striatum is telling you, like, What, you know what? Look here, go here. We're going to do this. This is awesome. Yes. Focus. Focus on this, focus on this, focus on this. That's what the striatum does, right? It communicates to your attention network what to focus on. So when we say a student is unmotivated, what's really happening is that their striatum isn't engaging. So their attention system is off task. It's shut down. It's not turning on. And no amount of rewards. Well, you know what? Okay, if you give the kid $1 million, yeah, they'll pay attention. Who wouldn't, right? But if you have $1 million, well, you're probably not watching this live, okay? So the reward systems, they don't turn on the striatum. In fact, they end up harming it, which I'll get into later. So it's not a willpower issue. It's not your student choosing to piss you off because they are ticked off because of something else that happened that's not related to you at all. It's not a willpower issue. It's not a choice behavior. It is a feedback issue that's happening in the brain. So how do we get the striatum to striate? Striate? How do we get the striatum to be the hype boy we need it to be? We close the feedback loop. So a student takes action, their brain looks for a result. If the result is visible and meaningful, the striatum says, all right, this is worth doing. We shall do this again. Dopamine is released. Dopamine, that's a buzzword if I've ever heard one right now. And then motivation increases. So I'm going to say that again. Closing the feedback loop. A student takes action. The brain looks for a result, which is the striatum. The striatum's looking for a result. If the result is visible and meaningful, the striatum says, hey, this is worth doing again. Dopamine is released, and the motivation to do it again increases. But if there's no result, or if the result is too delayed, which is why I say homework is stupid, the loop is broken. So if there's no result, or if the result is too delayed, if that feedback is too delayed, the loop is broken. And the brain says, well, why even bother? What's the point? There's no hype boy there. So if I water a plant, every day, but nothing happens for a month, and oh man, even worse, like if it starts getting brown spots and I'm like, what? I watered, it's by the window. What is going on? I just must not be good at this, right? I water a plant every day. Nothing happens for a month. And I might see some discouraging little marks on it. I'm going to stop watering it. I went through that for years before I got good at actually keeping my plants alive. But if I water it and I see a sprout the next day, I'm like, ooh, okay, I got to keep this bad boy alive, right? Like he's going to grow a little baby leaf. Okay. So you better believe that I'm coming back to that plant and watering it. Okay. Students need to see that their effort leads to growth, and they need that feedback as quickly and as clearly as possible. So here are some real strategies you can use to close the loop and light up your student's striatum. Turn on their hype boy. Visual progress tracking. This is fantastic. Visuals, visuals, visuals. I always say visuals for it. Everything you can, if you can add a visual to it, do it. You're going to see so much progress just by something as simple as making it visual. The brain processes visuals faster without hardly any effort than it does language. So let's say you're teaching writing and you have students rate their intro paragraph from 1 to 5 at the start of the unit. Then have them do it again at the end. When they see that the 2 became a 4, the striatum goes, growth. Okay, sweet. Let's do more of this. Use before and after work examples. I always did this, especially for my kids that were really, really, really like struggling, or it was really hard to get them motivated for art. Art and reading. Reading was a big one too. Okay. So I used to keep pre and post like projects or collect samples from the beginning of the year and then have a sample at the end of the year and put them side by side. For my kids who really grew with drawing or sculpture, these were huge. But every time students would say, I can't do this, this is too hard, this, I'm not any good at this, I hate art, I had either their examples or I had digital examples from students previously, and I had enough. Oh gosh, I had so many examples. I took pictures of kids' artwork all the time. And it was really nice too, because I would have those conversations with the kids and then they would talk about it to other kids. And then like those organic conversations happened, like, oh, you hated art too? Oh, but you're so good at da 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 da. That's a word of mouth. It's the best way to sell yourself as a teacher. Okay. So before and after work samples. Give immediate effort-focused feedback. Effort-focused. Stay away from saying good job, as hard as that is. So you could say things like, the way you revised that sentence shows real growth. And then da 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 about why. Or you could say, wow, you did a great job using the math strategy that we worked on yesterday. Like, it's really as simple as little stuff like that. Stay away from good job, that's correct. You want real specific effort-based feedback. And this is the reason why everybody is saying, like, if you're giving feedback, it needs to be specific. If it's not specific, it's not going to light up the striatum, because the striatum only lights up when it associates the feedback with actual progress. Okay, so you also want to reflect often. Students can do quick writes, they could share, you can do discussions. They could do a quick reflection at the activity at the beginning or at the end of every day. It does not need to be long. It could be as simple as like circle 3 questions and all they do is like circle emojis. You just want to get them thinking. If you are going to do some discussions or writings, what did I do today that helped me grow? Where did I put in effort? Or where did I see effort? Where did I feel like I had to put in the most effort? I always had my kids talk about what was the hardest, like what was the easiest and what was the hardest. That was a really good way so that they weren't just focused on like the negatives. And they got to see what other people found easy and what other people found, or what other people found easy and what they found hard. And then they kind of felt like, oh, I'm not alone. That section of the project was really hard for a lot of different people. Another reflection question, what was challenging? How did I respond? Reflection activates the striatum by creating a narrative around progress. Oh, and I can't wait. Next month, we're going to go into storytelling. Storytelling in the brain. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. So, the last strategy to turn on your brain's hype boy or your student's brain's hype boy is to model your own feedback loop. So you could say, um, like as the teacher, you're modeling this. I was nervous to try this new lesson format. I was nervous to try this new project, but I noticed that more of you were engaged. And that tells me, you know what, it works and it was worth trying out. It's great feedback. Awesome. Students watch us for cues. When they see you making sense of your own effort and outcome, it gives them a template. It gives them language. It gives them context. So it's easier to explain, it's easier to discuss, and it's easier for them to communicate their needs and what they think is going on with their brains. Okay, so what not to do? I don't think I can be any more clear on this, but do not use stickers, candy, tokens. The clip charts, I can't believe my nephew told me that his school is still using a clip chart, which blows my mind. And that's a really, really, really good talking point for the issue with charter schools. I hate to be the one that says it. But it seems like charter schools, they're using antiquated behavioral systems more than I see public schools. So if you do work at a charter, check out what your behavioral system or process for identifying behaviors, motivating students, getting to the root of issues. What is it? If it uses a clip chart, leave. There are so many schools out there. Do you have no idea how many principals, district leaders I talk to that are like scouring our country for good teachers? There are so many schools that are so short-staffed. You have principals, like there's a network of principals that they email each other if they have a teacher moving. It's crazy. It is crazy. If you are stuck in a school that is not giving you the room that you need to breathe and experiment, and you don't feel good about the work that you're doing when it comes to managing behavior or motivating kids or getting them focused and getting them engaged, you can find a school that's doing what should be done. You can. They're out there. Doesn't feel like it, but they are. I had no idea how many were out there until I started actually working with districts. There are a ton. Anyway, striatum, brain's hype boy. Okay, so you don't need stickers, candy, tokens, clip charts. That's not what the striatum is wired for long term. If anything, extrinsic rewards short circuit the feedback loop. And this is like well known. Instead of I feel proud because I improved, it's, ooh, I did A and I got X. Yay, the sticker's entertaining me for like 0.3 seconds. But the internal motivation slowly dies off because you are actually, once again, short-circuiting that feedback loop. Instead, you want to rely on intrinsic motivators, psychological needs. I cover 5 of them in all of my resources: safety, comfort, autonomy, belonging, competency. Autonomy, belonging, and competency are the 3 psychological needs that are documented, evidence-based. They are an absolute necessity for intrinsic motivation, whether you are a child or you're an adult. Autonomy, belonging, and competency. So you're going to use natural fuel sources for your students' brains, hype boy, progress, predictability, purpose, and connection. So I want your biggest takeaway today to be motivation isn't magic. It's not unicorns and I don't know, what are other fantasy creatures? What's the half man, half horse? I'm not going to be able to think of it because like I'm on a live and of course. What is that thing called? Somebody tell me in the comments. What is that? Half man, half horse? All I'm thinking of is like Narnia. Anyway, so it's motivation is not like some mystical thing that we can't figure out. It is literally biology. It's the brain. And it's why I tell every teacher, you can understand the brain and you can be at 100 times better at your job. And it'll be a cakewalk if you understand the brain. It's not going to be a cakewalk. It's not going to be a cakewalk. That's me being facetious. But it's going to be a lot easier, right? Okay. So if a student doesn't seem motivated, you want to ask the right questions. Can they see their progress? Do they know why this matters? Are they getting timely feedback? Is anyone reflecting with them on their growth? The striatum needs a reason to care. It needs a reason to pay attention. You don't need to force it with a clip chart. You need to show it. And the best part, once the striatum experiences that loop enough times, it forms a habit and it makes it even easier for your students to focus and pay attention. Students start seeking feedback on their own. They start looking for it. They start knowing what to look for. And that's how you build resiliency. That's how you build grit. They self-correct, they show up, and they're ready to go. And that's the goal, right? So if you want more tools like this, if you want more information like this, if you want more strategies like this, check out the Neurodivergent Toolkit. It is the one and only resource that is out there right now for neurodivergent students who are the ones that seem to be lacking that motivation, lacking that ability to pay attention, to focus. It has over 100 strategies. You are going to save so much time and energy just by following the resource. It's extremely easy. It's got it all laid out for you. So comment needs if you want the Neurodivergent Toolkit so you can start saving that time and energy and spending it on things that you enjoy. Yeah. And just being a better teacher because you feel better, because you feel more confident, because you feel like you're helping those kids that you're really struggling with. You understand them better, you empathize with them better. The entire toolkit is like designed to make your good feeling chemicals come out, which increases your resiliency and improves your attention and your focus and decreases your stress. So comment needs if you want the Neurodivergent Toolkit, and I will see you all next Monday, I think. Yeah, unless I have another live planned for this week. I might hop on here random.